guest speaker, JOE Berardi. Joe served as a B-17 bomber pilot in the 8th Air Force.
What do you have on your...
We had a 51st Bomb Group, 509 Squadron. He flew 32 minutes and accumulated 1,000 hours.
Hey, thanks.
In the cockpit. Just so you know, his 30th mission was over Normandy on D-Day 7 years ago today. Please welcome JOE Berardi.
Thank you. If you don't mind, I'll never sit down. It's a little easier on you.
Who's this belong to?
Well, as he stated, I have a B-17 pilot. Training at the United States. And shortly after at my wing, I attended a B-17 transition school in Florida, which, the completion of which, I became a first pilot rather than go through the co-pilot. And after completing that training, it lasted about 13 weeks. They put us through the places, learn how to fly formation, different times of day, morning, night, whatever, through storms. I instead went to Texas and picked up my crew. A co-pilot, navigator down here, and others and so forth. Anyway, we trained remaining 14 weeks and ended up in Louisiana. And when we completed that, we then went to Nebraska and picked up a brand new B-17, which we were to fly to England in the month of December. The route was from Nebraska to Presque Isle, Maine, up to Labrador, across the North Atlantic, and go to Scotland. Well, it didn't pan out as good as that, because the weather was real severe. And we did make it across the ocean with a lot of difficulty. We had a lot of icing. There was a storm we flew through. And I couldn't make it to Scotland. We were running low on fuel. So I contacted an air base, a British air base in Belfast, Northern Ireland. And they said they were socked in. I said, well, I have to land because we're low on fuel. And they said, well, you have to make an instrument approach and an instrument landing. Are you capable? I said, yes, sir. I'm glad I learned that procedure because it was hairy. Anyway, when I let down, I was at about 300 feet above. That was my altitude. That's how bad it was. It was really socked in. But anyway, I made the landing, and we checked our fuel. We had 20 minutes of fuel left, we figured, which wouldn't have got us too far if we had to go around. And so B-17s ate up the fuel. Anyway, ended up at an air base in England, Colebrook, which is about 70 miles. And from there, we flew the 32 missions. These missions consisted of German defense places, German manufacturing, Schweinfurt, where they made ball bearings for their engines. And we did a lot of military airstrips and things like that. And we also hit the aircraft manufacturing places in Frankfurt and Leipzig. Well, then, by that time, we were able to make deep penetrations in Germany because we had a good fighter escort. Prior to that, when we first started, which was about January of 1944, the British would take us across the channel in the Spitfires. They couldn't stay too long in the air. They took us to the French coast and then waved us goodbye and and we fought our way in. And we were attacked most of the time by German Messerschmitt and Shot Wolf. And our losses were pretty high. But later on, we got better escorts. First, we had P-47s, which were no match for the German Messerschmitt, and the P-38 was fast, but could not tangle with the Messerschmitt. It wasn't until we got the P-51 Mustang that they were superior to the Messerschmitt, and we were able to get deeper penetrations into Germany. We bombed Berlin, for instance. I was over 5 times, and the fortifications there, the anti-aircraft fire that they sent us was so thick we could walk on the flat first. We had lots of holes in the planes. So B-17 was able to take it, and we got it safely. So we made it to D-Day, and we flew before the troops landed, and there was a lot of overcast, but there were patches where we could see. We were there right at the break of daylight before the landing, and our job was to bomb the fortifications beyond the coast, behind it, and to try to knock out as many as the gun emplacements and cannons that the Germans had, and also hit any of their airstrips where the German fighters could strafe our troops. And I remember that day in particular because at the briefing we were told that if we ran into any mechanical problems or whatnot, that we had to abort the mission. Do not turn around and head back, because they said about 10,000 airplanes in the sky at that time. We were at high altitude, then they had the medium bombers, then they had the low level ground, and right down to the ground. So there'd be no room to turn around. We were to continue, and if we could possibly make it to the coast to join our troops, and they would get us out of there the first chance they got. Anyway, we were lucky. We didn't have any mechanical problems, and after we hit that target, we had to make a wide sweep to the right or south and go quite a ways, and we came in back to England, southern England. That's how bad it was. Luckily, I brought my crew and myself back home. I lost one man. He was not flying with me at the time, but he went with another crew. And the man that took his place did not want to leave our crew because he felt he would have been killed because the position he flew with the low ball and with the plane. And my particular crewman who took his place was shot in the back by friendly fire. They were under enemy attack head on, and some guns went off, and he got killed instantly. So this individual who took his place did not want to leave my crew. He says that would have been him had he not joined us. It was a arrogant spirit. I spent all of 7 months there. Our field was located in Colebrook, was, as I said, 70 miles north of London, and the nearest city in England was Peterborough. Anyway, I came home, and no one home knew I was coming because I didn't have time to. Our mail was so slow that I surprised everybody, including my wife and my newborn baby, who was about 8 weeks old when I got here. That's about the end of it. I can't think of anything else unless you have some questions. I'll be happy to answer. I thank you.